The best-selling book, The Secret and the Law of Attraction, has become an international phenomenon. But can you really think your way to happiness, a new car, and riches? I'm Skip Lindeman, and this is a closer look. My guest is #1 New York Times best-selling author Kevin Trudeau. His newest book is Your Wish is Your Command, How to Manifest Your Desires. Is it that fact, or is it a fraud? Well, we'll find out. Kevin, welcome to the show. But before I ask you my first question about the fact or fraud, now most people know you as a consumer advocate, a health advocate, whistleblower, best-selling author, controversial radio talk show host. But a lot of people don't know that you founded over 60 corporations, including the Golf Channel in the United Kingdom, 3 TV networks, companies in teleservices, production, advertising, manufacturing, publishing, many other industries. Your global business empire has been reported to have generated over $3 billion, billion with a B. Truly, your success is unprecedented. What is the truth about this law of attraction?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people don't know my business background and what I did on a global scale. But I didn't come from a wealthy family. My dad was a welder. I never went to college. I virtually flunked out of high school. I mean, I got a diploma, but I never went to college. So I didn't have connections. I didn't have a college degree or any fancy education. Didn't come from wealthy, well-connected parents. I wasn't a Kennedy. I didn't go to Harvard. Wasn't a Trump. Didn't have the background, the money, the financing. But what happened was, when I was 15 years old, I got exposed to an organization called the Brotherhood. And this group took me in and taught me how to use the law of attraction. And what that really is how to use your brain to act as a transmitter and receiver of frequency. And they taught me how to focus that to virtually attract into my life what I wanted. They told me that I could have, be, or do anything I wanted. Well, it sounded too good to be true, a very young
Still
boy.
Does.
Yeah.
Still does, yeah.
But I did that, and I made millions of dollars before I was 18. Wow. And I went on to generate a very large, successful empire all over the world in business, and done some pretty amazing things. Best-selling books. I mean, a first-time author coming out with a book that was the #1 selling book in America. It outsold Harry Potter and the Da Vinci Code that year. It was #1 in the New York Times bestseller list 26 weeks in a row. To have Rolls Royces and Ferraris and spend time on super yachts around the world, flying the Concorde, private jets, live in 25,000 square foot mansions around the world. So to have that type of lifestyle and type of wealth for somebody with no education, no financing, no loan guarantees, no backing, no connections, how do you do that? And that's what I decided to write about. Now, I'm not a guy who's made money selling books on how to make money. Okay, right. You watch people on television, yeah. Go to the store, you buy, there's one book that's out there written by a guy who went bankrupt, then wrote a book on how to get rich. And he made all his money when people bought the book on how to get rich. He wrote it when he was bankrupt. So obviously he wasn't very successful. There's other, gurus on TV that sell audios and things on how to, live a super successful life. And they've never done anything except sell books and audio programs on how to be successful. And that's where they made all their money. So I think the difference here is I've actually made a lot using these techniques. I know how they really work. And if you read the book The Secret and learn about the law of attraction, I think it's an excellent, excellent book, and I recommend it. But there's a missing element to that, which is why so many people haven't succeeded. Well,
and maybe this is it. Isn't it true? Many people using the law of attraction and try to attract a new car or more money failed. How do you explain that?
It is true. People that were in The Secret and talked about the law of attraction, they've been on the Oprah show. They were on Larry King. And both Oprah and Larry King mentioned a lot of people bought The Secret, tried to apply the law of attraction, and unfortunately miserably failed. They didn't attract the new car. They didn't attract the better job. They didn't attract the better career. They didn't attract the big home. They didn't attract money to pay off their bills. They didn't attract a relationship that they so desperately wanted. And they got very frustrated. But the fact is, there's a missing ingredient.
What's that?
Well, if you go back to where this started, Andrew Carnegie, at the turn of the century, was the richest man in the world. He owned U.S. Steel. And he hired a guy by the name of Napoleon Hill to study the rich people in the world, including Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Firestone, J.P. Morgan, all the super wealthy, and write a book about